Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today, if I can get your attention, we're going to be talking about bolts. And for most of you, you're going to be rolling over and maybe want to fall asleep on me. But the thing is, you need to understand about bolts, how they're described, how they're sized. And you're gonna use this the rest of your life. Okay, if you need to fix anything, you're making something, you need to fasten things together. And a lot of times, you're going to fasten things together with a bolt. And I'll be passing some of these around so you can see. After understanding the sizing of them, I also want to understand some terminology with them. And basically right in here, what I wrote this down here, 1/4 inch / 20 NC. And that's how things are going to be written. And for you, you got to understand, what is that? The 1/4 inch right here means that this bolt right here has a 1/4 inch diameter on it, major diameter. And if I were to put a ruler on here, I would be able to count 20 little things up on top, which we call crest, in 1 inch here. And I'm going to draw this up on the board. And the reason why this is important, because we can also have a 1/4 inch, that's 28 NF. And what I mean by NF and NC, if we go NC, and that's a part of your lecture notes I want you writing down, is that national coarse is NC, national fine is NF, okay? Fill in those blanks in. And so in a 1/4 inch, you can either have 20 threads per inch or 28 threads per inch. And if you can take a look at them, you can start seeing that one is what we call coarse and a little bit more fine. You can identify them just by looking at them a little bit. And I'll be passing these out to you so you can take a good look at them. All right? Now what I'd like you to do, if you have a second here, I want you to draw up this diagram that I'm putting on the board here. And that'll be part of your lecture notes again. But when we come in here, I want to just draw some jigsaws right here up and down. Okay? We're going to draw them on the other side here. And I'm going to be talking about the terminology, what all this stuff means in here. Now for some of you, it's going to be very important that you know this stuff. And so basically what ends up happening here, this here, we said this was a 1/4 inch. That I had it written up there on those other ones. Okay, that's called our major diameter. Remember this circle with a slash through it, that is our symbol for diameter. Okay, and that's diameter, everybody knows, that's the distance across the circle, is our diameter in there. So it's not an empty set, that's a symbol for it. That's called our major diameter on the outside there. And for us, anytime we're unsure, if we're unsure of what the size of a bolt is, like last week I showed you I use the dial calipers, they're up in the cabinet there. I want you to take that dial calipers and we're going to measure it. And you've read that dial calipers, and this one here is 0.743. It's a little less than 0.75, which is 3/4 of an inch. But they make it a little bit smaller, and that's classes of fits that we might not get to today. Okay? But anyway, so and we can take that 0.75. Out in the shop, I have conversion charts. If you can't convert from decimals to fraction, the conversion chart will do it for you. And basically, this is 3/4 of an inch. But anyway, so that's our major diameter. The top of the thread is called the crest. It's called the crest. The top is called the crest. The bottom of the thread is called the root. The crest and a root. So we have the major diameter. The last thing I want to make sure we can remember here is that we take that ruler and it's 0, and this is 1 inch here, and if I would count all the crests from 0 to 1, that's going to give me my threads per inch, TPI, threads per inch, right on top there. And that's very important that we know them. Also out there, we'll always have charts. I'll have charts with how many threads per inch out there. Okay? And I'll be talking about that much more. The last thing quickly I want to talk about here in a short amount of time is that we have different grades of bolts, and they have tensile strength. And so we need to know what tensile strength is. So if we have tensile strength, that what it means is the pulling apart of metal or wood or anything else. How much poundage can you put on it before it's going to pull apart? And so with that in there, we have a couple of them. There's no markings on it. It means a very low grade, which is about 60,000 pounds. Compared to if we get a grade 8, it's usually grade 2, grade 5, grade 8. There's some other ones in between there, but those are majorities we're going to talk about. A grade 8 is going to have six lines up on top of the head. 6 lines up on top of the head, and that's going to be a grade 8, and that's going to have about 150,000 pounds on there. Okay? And so that's where we're at. And hopefully, I'm going to send these around. You can be taking a look at them. But that's what we want. So you know what NC and NF are and the terminology and how to size a bolt. All right? And as we get to use them out there, I'll be talking more about it later on. All right? Thank you.